Welcome to Sports Guy Talking. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about the Suns matching the Pacers offer sheet for Deandre Ayton. The Pacers offered Deandre Ayton a 4-year, $133 million contract, but the Suns matched that offer. Since Deandre Ayton was a restricted free agent, that means he is now returning to play for the Suns on a 4-year, $133 million contract. Before I say anything else, though, I want to present you guys with the topic question. So, here it is. What is your reaction to the Suns matching the Pacers offer sheet for Deandre Ayton? All right, so before I go ahead and answer that question straight up, I want to go ahead and talk about the contract details concerning Deandre Ayton and what this means for the Suns cap space wise. All right, so Deandre Ayton, he's now coming back to the Phoenix Suns on a 4-year, $133 million contract. There are no options in the deal, no player option, no team option. That means he's going to have that contract for 4 years straight up. Also, here are two key things that people need to note when it comes to the Deandre Ayton contract. Now, look, Deandre Ayton cannot be traded until January 15th. So that means he has to play for the Phoenix Suns until January 15th at the earliest. That means that he cannot be traded there. That's what I'm trying to say. And he also has veto rights on any deal for an entire year. That means that if Deandre Ayton was to get traded, he has to approve the deal, or else Deandre Ayton cannot go to said team. All right, so those are just some of the contract terms concerning Deandre Ayton. And now what does this mean for the Phoenix Suns? This means that now they're over the luxury tax by $15 million. This is a major change for how the Phoenix Suns have done things in their past. Their owner, Robert Sarver, he's been known to be very frugal with his money. He's been known to try to save up every single penny that he can. And the fact that he's willing to go over the luxury tax, that means that he is willing to go all in on this current Suns core. And rightfully so, because the Phoenix Suns right now are a championship caliber basketball team. The Phoenix Suns received the number 2 seed back in the 2021 NBA season, back during the COVID year where they shortened it to 72 games. And as for the 2022 season, they were the number 1 seed. They won a lot of basketball games. The Phoenix Suns, in short answer, they've been very good at playing the game of basketball the last 2 seasons. So to see Deandre Ayton get rewarded with the contract that he got from Robert Saleh, to see them get rewarded in the luxury tax, that means that ownership is going all in. Got to give credit to Robert Sarver where credit is due. Many people, including myself, thought that he was not going to pay up Deandre Ayton just so he could save up a few bucks here and there. But the fact that he didn't do so, credit to Robert Sarver where credit was due. All right, so what does this mean now? What does this mean for Deandre Ayton? And what does this mean for the Phoenix Suns? All right, so now they've been known to be in the race for KD. I personally believe that Kevin Durant was going to go to the Phoenix Suns when Kevin Durant first announced the trade. I truly thought that the Phoenix Suns were going to be in the running for KD, but now that the Phoenix Suns matched that offer from the Indiana Pacers, this now essentially takes them out of the deal. And before I go ahead and get to that, I just want to note about how surprised I was to see Robert Sarver match that offer because the Phoenix Suns, like I said, they're a team that's been known to save money. So the fact that they were willing to match that offer, be willing to spend a little bit more money than usual, credit to them where credit is due. Anyways, back to what I was trying to say. The best offer for KD now that Deandre Ayton cannot be traded to the Brooklyn Nets until January 15th at the earliest, as well as Deandre Ayton needing to approve the offer to go to the Brooklyn Nets. Okay, so now their best offer for Kevin Durant is this. They need to offer Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder, Landry Shamet, maybe throw in Dario Saric, and a boatload of first-round picks and pick swaps. Now, I don't personally think that that's going to be a deal that's going to move the needle for the Brooklyn Nets, because what all-star are they getting out of that deal? They're not getting an all-star out of that deal. Look, when you deal a player of Kevin Durant's caliber, you need to deal with an all-star player, or at least someone that has shown potential to be a future all-star player, as well as a boatload of picks. Look, Kevin Durant is one of the best players in the world. He's a top 2 basketball player. He's only worse than Giannis at the game of basketball. Kevin Durant, he's a really great guy. He's great at the game of basketball. The Phoenix Suns, they don't have the trade pieces that they need in order to pull off a trade for Kevin Durant now, not unless they wait it out. Now, let's say if Kevin Durant doesn't get traded by January 15th, which could be a possibility. I'm not going to say it's going to be impossible or possible, but let's just say that Kevin Durant does not get traded till January 15th. As soon as Kevin Durant does not get traded till January 15th, that means Deandre Ayton would be back in the trade rumors. And also, it would take Deandre Ayton approving the offer to go ahead and go play for the Brooklyn Nets. If Deandre Ayton says he doesn't want to play for the Brooklyn Nets in a rebuild-like situation, then that means the Phoenix Suns cannot go ahead and trade DeAndre Ayton to the Brooklyn Nets. But with DeAndre Ayton returning back to the Phoenix Suns, this takes them out of the Kevin Durant sweepstakes. I don't think that's really going to be a realistic landing spot for Kevin Durant moving forward. The Suns, they don't have enough pieces to pull off a trade for Kevin Durant. So I just don't see that happening unless they get a third team involved. If they get a third team involved, or maybe even a fourth team involved, okay, maybe I could see the Phoenix Suns getting involved in the Kevin Durant sweepstakes, but by then, that would be too complicated to talk about as of right now. The point is, DeAndre Ayton, he's going to be back on the Phoenix Suns, and that's basically that. He was so close to being an Indiana Pacer. I didn't think the Phoenix Suns were going to match that offer, but indeed they did. Now, DeAndre Ayton, he's going to be back in Phoenix. And so this leads me to another takeaway that I want to talk about. This proves that the Phoenix Suns are willing to spend money in order to become a championship caliber basketball team. Because in the past, back in the Steve Nash days, they were not willing to spend money to become a championship caliber team. Now they're showing that they are indeed willing to do that. And now this proves that the days in Phoenix are totally different. Gone are the days where the Phoenix Suns are trying to be the cheapest team in the NBA and trying to win games without trying to spend money. That's not really a realistic way to build teams in the NBA in order to win championships, particularly in the modern NBA. And unless you're the Los Angeles Lakers or something like that, you have to spend money in order to win. You have to look at the Milwaukee Bucks. They spent a ton of money to build up a championship roster around Giannis. They did that. That's what the Phoenix Suns need to continue doing. They need to continue spending the money. I also like the fact that they didn't give DeAndre Ayton the max right away, because DeAndre Ayton is not a max-worthy player. Is he a good basketball player? Yes, he's a good basketball player, but he's not a max-level player. Good thing they didn't give him something like a 5-year or $190 million contract. That would have been insane. Getting DeAndre Ayton for about $35 million, that sounds like a fair price for DeAndre Ayton. He's a good basketball player. He can help them out. He can be a third option on a championship caliber team, but he should not be getting paid more than that. DeAndre Ayton, now he's on a fair contract. Very smart move that the Phoenix Suns did. And my final point that I want to talk about that concerns DeAndre Ayton is the relationship between DeAndre Ayton and their head coach, Monty Williams. Now it's going to go under the microscope because Monty Williams, their head coach for Phoenix, is really good at what he does, but he doesn't have a great relationship with DeAndre Ayton. Monty Williams thinks that DeAndre Ayton is a soft center, and I do somewhat agree. I think that he needs to be tougher on the defensive side of the floor. He needs to be a better rim protector. I understand that DeAndre Ayton, he has defensive liabilities within him, but he needs to be better on that end of the floor if the Phoenix Suns want to become championship favorites. Otherwise, come January 15th, and if they can somehow manage to get Kevin Durant still on the trade market, they need to go ahead and trade him immediately, because right now they don't have a great relationship. In order to build up a great championship team, players and coaches, they need to have great relationships, great trust within them. Right now, DeAndre Ayton and Monty Williams, they don't have that. They need to get that resolved, because if they don't get it resolved, the Phoenix Suns could be headed for some regression next season. The Phoenix Suns, I know that they're coming off of 2 highly successful regular seasons. They've made the NBA Finals before with this core. But if DeAndre Ayton and Monty Williams continue to have problems with each other, then they're not going to be a championship caliber team for much longer. It could fall apart sooner rather than later, so they need to get that fixed. But good for the Suns for being able to get DeAndre Ayton back. I did not think that was a realistic possibility, but they managed to pull it off. So credit to them where credit is due. So that is why I was very surprised about the Suns matching the Pacers offer sheet for DeAndre Ayton. Now, before I go ahead and do my outro, I have an announcement to make. All right, guys, I plan to take the next week off because of family vacation, stuff like that. I'm going to be going on a vacation trip, so I'll be off on the 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, and 22nd, so I'll be off all of next week. I plan to return on July 25th, hopefully talk about some NFL, maybe something happens in the NBA. I'll talk about that too. I'll also talk about college football as well if necessary. All right, so I'll be out next week. Hopefully you guys will be able to enjoy your summers and continue to do that. I know that I've certainly had a great summer, and I'm going to continue doing that. I'm going to go hang out at the beach next week, so I'm going to be off. All right, remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking if you haven't yet. Like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in a future video. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at Dustin Tran and at Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter at Dustin Tran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel, Sports Guy Talking.